Hello, my beautiful bros and girls out there. This is your boy Michael here, so you don't have to. When you hear of DreamWorks animation, usually the films that come in mind are Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, Megamind, and of course, there's other things that we got. But one basically that really caught my eye is How to Train Your Dragon. Ever since I've seen the live action version, but why? Oh boy, here we go.
Yep, now DreamWorks is joining the fad of pointless live-action remakes. I guess anything is possible, and maybe it'll be good, but it sure doesn't look good. But with yet another studio's attempt to make you copy over your memory of an anime classic, I thought it makes sense to look at why the original anime classic was so beloved. Released in 2010 and directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois, the film took a story we've heard a million times and seemed to breathe new fire into it.
Oh
When
yeah.
I first saw the trailer, I dreaded it because it looked like a film I could predict.
Oh yeah, Hook Fang. That dragon was cool
But in
looking.
typical Sanders fashion, it took something I heard over and over and retold it in a way that felt fresh and new.
Yeah.
Just based on its story, you would assume nothing major would result from all this, but through good world building, likable characters, and immersive visuals, we got an epic trilogy, engaging theme park attractions, and it just can't be good, right?
It is
So I
good.
wanted to look back and see what this film did to win everybody over before we witness what it's going to do to lose everybody again. Because if there's anything I know, it's how studios love to find a comfort zone.
Coming up next on Disney vs. DreamWorks, sequels.
Please set aside 12 hours for our coverage.
Let's take a look at the original.
How to Train Your Dragon.
It opens with a Ray Romano balloon being given more helium.
We have fishing, hunting, and a charming view of the sunsets.
Actually, that's Hiccup, played by Jay Baruchel. And yeah, I've made fun of this guy's voice before, but he really does have a lot of talent when properly utilized. And this movie properly utilizes him.
The meathead with attitude and interchangeable hands is Gobber. I've been his apprentice ever since I was little. Well, littler.
He sounds immediately like an outcast, which how couldn't you with the vocals of the shrunken head of Nathan Fielder? But as the film goes on, he does show he can handle the dramatic moments just as well as the comedic.
Sure.
Parents believe a hideous name will frighten off gnomes and trolls, like our charming Viking demeanor wouldn't do that.
What are you doing here? Get inside!
As Vikings, you might be wondering why we sound Scottish instead of Scandinavian. Oh, you're not.
Because they're Vikings, of course.
In the land of Berg, the Vikings are constantly at war with the dragons, who seem to endlessly attack their village.
Astrid.
I remember her.
That's not fair to him. He could put anything in front of an explosion and it'll look great.
Yeah, that's better.
And I will say the animation is both a little better and a little lesser than I remember it. Okay, so I said before, this is one of the best 3D movies I ever saw. Hell, it might be the best 3D movie I ever saw. The flying scenes especially know how to make you feel like you're in the air with these creatures. But when it's all cleaned up and on the smaller screen, the textures do look a little Toy Story 1-ish. However, whenever there's moody lighting, it looks really damn good. It's strange because most CG, especially back then, looked better when it was well lit, but for some reason the heavy shadows in this movie really make the textures look more solid.
You need to stop all this. But you just pointed to all of me. Yes.
Also, keep the sound a little less like a slowed down Fran Drescher, that'd be good too. So see if any of this sounds familiar. Hiccup is a scrawny inventor who isn't very good at fighting. His acting father, played by Gerard Butler, comes to the conclusion that training him to fight dragons will toughen him up, but he doesn't seem to fit in. He discovers a dragon he shot down, but finds he can't kill him, and eventually learns to befriend him.
Yeah, Night Fury, or should I call him Toothless?
He uses it to trick people into thinking he's a dragon slayer, and at some point he has to admit he's not a prince, warrior, shark slayer, gunslinger, astronaut, wizard, or whatever these two are in half their movies. Yeah, like I said, the story is very, very common. But there is a lot that sets it apart, and a good chunk of that is from the characters and the actors who play them. First off, good lord, I forgot how many names are in this. Craig Ferguson, America Ferrera, Jonah Hill, Kristen Wiig, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Somehow always playing the animated opposite of how he looks in real life. But like I mentioned, it isn't just the performances. These characters are written to be very relatable. Hiccup's father, for example, could easily be a one-dimensional jerk, but you can tell while he's frustrated with his son, he still loves him and wants what's best for him. Yet it's not overplayed.
Even as a boy, I knew what I was. Hiccup is not that boy. You can't stop him, Stoic. You can only prepare him.
Even Gobber, who Hiccup works for him, would usually just be throwaway comic relief.
Yeah, I absolutely love him too in the live-action movie. He was kind of fine.
It's not what you look like, it's what's inside that he can't stand. Stop trying so hard to be something you're not.
That's two father figures for Hiccup, but they feel so real and distinct that it doesn't come across as crowded or repetitive. And in most other cases, it would. Even when Hiccup's gonna try and kill the dragon he captured, the dragon doesn't look angry or give a sad face like most movies would.
Like, he just closes his eyes and pretend like, okay, go ahead, you can kill me now.
You turn me into a bicycle seat. My head's already shaped for it. Hiccup finds he can't do it and sets him free, but his damaged tail prevents him from leaving the area.
Yeah, because he shot down, he got a part of the tail got cut off by the thing that he used earlier when he shot him down.
Not only are the dragons unique, I mean, I'm sure you've seen a million dragons in a million stories, but ones from here are instantly recognizable from this franchise. But each one has different traits. It's legit fun to hear what makes these dragons different.
Oh yeah, that one is my most favorite one. Hook Fang is the most scariest and most cool dragon I've ever seen in the movie.
The other head lights it.
This one is called Three Balls. He has no special skills, just
Three balls.
It's weird and I can't not mention it.
Yeah, not me neither.
Are battle boners a thing?
The Dragon Manual. Everything we know about every dragon we know of.
He studies Tobin's Dragon Guide and has a nice touch. The more immersed he gets into studying dragons, the more immersive the book literally becomes. Seeming to come to life, the more he discovers. On that note, Hiccup does discover more about his new dragon friend, who he names Toothless, seeing how he can hide his teeth at any moment. Toothless, like the other dragons, is a really great design. It's like he's half salamander, half cat. They combine so many animals in this one beast, yet he still moves in a distinct way. You feel like only this creature would move. And honestly, I never put together how similar the outline of his face is to Stitch, another creation from this.
Yeah, very similar. Oh, I remember the scene.
Some great visual storytelling. Hiccup learns more about how Toothless thinks and communicates, and every step of the way feels believable given the world and environment they've established. And you're immediately sucked in because at the same time Hiccup discovers something new, you're discovering something new. Like, you're learning these neat facts with him, sharing in his excitement. Which is so much more interesting than let me tell you in 5 paragraphs how this works.
Yeah.
In probably the film's most famous scene, Hiccup puts out his hand, hoping he earned his trust, and Toothless allows himself to be pet.
That scene is the most iconic thing in the whole movie.
Let's see what that means. I'm now pregnant with his child. What? Hiccup makes an artificial tail for Toothless, so getting it on him is not easy.
And then he takes off.
Whoa. Oh my, it's working!
Something DreamWorks usually knows how to do well is shooting its films for 3D. Even in something like B-Movie, as much of the character as possible is usually kept in the middle of the screen. So when you get a flying sequence, you really feel like you're flying with them because very little of them is cut off. And honestly, even watching it in 2D, it's not a bad way to frame your shot. It does keep it visually interesting. Even little details like Hiccup making a cheat sheet for how to operate the tail. That's not something that's needed. You could just say he figured it out, but it makes the training process feel more real. A kid would have a cheat sheet. And yeah, like I said, these flying scenes are amazing. They allow just
there
right
are
amount of time to hold
good
on
shots.
shot where you feel
Better
like
than
you're flying with
B-Movie,
them
not gonna
without
lie.
holding too long on them to feel distracting. It is legit hard not to hold my hands up like I'm on a roller coaster during this shot.
Yeah, it is kind of like the same thing.
Even the actual How to Train Your Dragon roller coaster, I don't think will feel as much as a roller coaster as that one shot did.
Yup.
As Hiccup learns more about how dragons think and move, he incorporates it into his dragon training, making him the new top student above Astrid.
Wow, he's better than you ever were.
Well, you are TJ Miller, so you're already used to most people being better than you. When his father returns from a voyage, he's shocked to discover Hiccup's amazing accomplishments.
With you doing so well in the ring, we finally have something to talk about.
I think that's the happiest and saddest line in the movie.
And all the while you are holding out on me, oh Thor Almighty!
Again, these scenes are usually so annoying because you know there's going to be that lame moment where the truth comes out and the other person isn't going to listen. But you legit feel the excitement from both of them. Hiccup finally being able to relax with his father, and his father feeling like he doesn't have to worry about his son anymore. He's going to be okay. They can just connect. It's the kind of moment where you go, oh yeah, this is why it became a cliche to begin with. It really can lead to some good scenes.
I brought you something. Your mother would have wanted you to have it. It's half of her breastplate.
Don't take this the wrong way, but no, it's not. When Hiccup is picked by the Elder to be the dragon killer over Astrid, yeah, a lot of info was given about this Elder and her role in this world. I know nothing about this character and forgot she was in the movie. Astrid finally follows him to get some answers.
That's for the lies. That's for everything else.
Oh yeah, well this is for looking like Girl Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah,
Discovers
but
her
then
and
she
at first he's like, hey,
teaches her a lesson by flying her with him.
And now the spinning. Thank you for nothing, you useless reptile.
Disney's reaction after releasing any movie about a dinosaur.
Oh my gosh.
They eventually warm up to each other as Toothless sees she's not a threat and takes her on an amazing flight through the sky. He's even nice enough to turn day to night, diving from above the clouds to above the clouds again. Yeah, that was weird.
Toothless, what's happening?
Toothless is pulled into almost a hypnotic trance, though, as it looks like the majority of dragons are instinctually drawn to steal food for one giant dragon.
Yeah, the Red Death. I remember that on the big screen. That was an epic shot in the entire movie.
Little character getting destroyed.
It totally makes sense. It's like a giant beehive. They're the workers, and that's their queen. It controls them.
Yes, it totally, kinda, maybe makes sense. Yeah, they don't explain this big bad dragon that well, and I will admit it's probably the weakest part of the film. They want you to like both the dragons and the Vikings, yet they still have to have the Vikings fear the dragons, so I guess this was their best workaround. But the dragons seem smart enough to work beyond this instinct or hypnotism or whatever it is. So maybe the more vague they keep it, maybe the more you'll go, I don't know, dragon shit, I guess. Some things I don't need to understand, like I don't know why I get off to my Rudolph's hormone monster bathing in chewed Hubba Bubba wearing a Jack Sparrow costume in the middle of an Italian circus. Juggling grapefruit while kissing every one of them, tap dancing on Mother Brain from Super Metroid. Super Metroid has to be 16-bit with the entire cast of All in the Family watching.
Yeah, we get it.
I just accept that I do.
Astrid, we have to think this through carefully.
Most movies would have Hiccup give a long-winded speech about why he wants to keep the nest a secret and protect Toothless, but just some good acting and tight dialogue gets across more than any speech could.
To protect your pet dragon? Are you serious?
Yes.
Yes.
Follow-up question, are you doing anyone tonight? I mean anything tonight.
That's for kidnapping me. That's for everything else.
See, why can't the people I kidnap react that way? The next day, Hiccup plans to tell everyone the truth as his father gets everybody ready for his son's first dragon killing.
If someone had told me Hiccup would go to placing first, well, I would have tied him to a mast and shipped him off for feeding gone mad.
Speaking of which, we should probably send a ship out to get the one person we did that to. Issue him an apology. Hiccup puts down his weapons and shows that dragons can be friendly, but a misunderstanding causes the dragon to turn violent.
Oh yeah, I remember that when he fights Hook Fang and then his father makes a lot of noise and then the dragon goes a little bit berserk. I remember that. But Toothless comes to his rescue. Let's go.
To be a dragon sympathizer. He accidentally lets it slip as well that he's been to their nest.
Only a dragon can find the island. Dad, no, please. It's not what you think. You don't know what you're up against. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
No longer will people mock that I'm Yosemite Sam after he swallowed that guy from Asterix.
You've thrown your lot in with them. You're not my son.
Again,
Oh yeah,
like
that moment like that
because the
makes me a little bit
antagonist is too
heartbroken.
one-note and unlikable, but then this happens.
But that look,
goes a long way. It's a look that doesn't come out of nowhere either. You can see the same guy at the beginning of this movie have the same reaction after seeing that. If anything, the fact that he has gone through such a roller coaster and how he sees his son makes this reaction more believable. People think the big difference between an epic and an adventure is big battles and explosions, but it's not. It looks like that. Also, it's good dialogue like this, after Hiccup's father harnesses Toothless to find the nest.
Why couldn't I have killed that dragon?
Why didn't you?
I couldn't.
That's not an answer.
I wouldn't kill a dragon.
You said wouldn't that time.
I wouldn't.
Well, I certainly wouldn't say this film relies on its dialogue. It is nice to know it's still really good. The scene even ends on a good line.
What are you gonna do about it?
Probably something stupid.
You've already done that.
Then something crazy.
What about smart? Are we out of smart?
no.
The Vikings use Toothless to find the dragon's nest.
Time to go.
And summons the Queen Alpha Dragon Lord, whatever.
The Red Death bursts out of there. But that live action scene was definitely cooler than the original.
This thing is kind of weak. Like, yeah, it's big, but it looks like an underwater dinosaur you'd find in Pac-Land. I don't get ruler of all dragons, really.
You're gonna need something to help you hold on.
Hiccup teaches the other kids to ride the dragons, which took them weeks to learn, but I guess seconds to teach, and they fly in trying to save their army.
Every bit the boar-headed, stubborn Viking you ever were.
Again, the expressions on Hiccup's father adds a lot. I could easily see a version where he goes mad with vengeance and keeps trying to attack, but once he sees the size of their enemy, he immediately knows Hiccup was right and they can't win this.
Yeah, he was right all along.
Saving the day riding the dragons, as well as him choosing to save Toothless from drowning, does believably show how much the character has grown, even in such a short amount of time.
It's true.
Again, little but poignantly precise moments can add so much more than pages of dialogue. Like, how many times have we heard the line, "I'm sorry for everything, I'm proud to call you my son"? We've heard that line so many times in movies, it means practically nothing. But look how meaningful those lines are acted and animated here. You can tell this is the first time he's ever said these words, and he means every one of them.
Listen.
I'm sorry for everything. I'm proud to call you my son.
I'll sing you a ballad when you return. That's okay, Dad. I've heard you, That's okay, Dad.
Come on! They're the best you can do!
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Figure out the dragon's power source and blow it up, causing him to, well, also blow up. Hiccup saves the day, but not without a price.
And yeah, he was replaced with a
Doesn't
metal
that
leg.
reaction say so much more than words ever could? I like something is legit lost, and that loss is always going to stay with him. In these reactions show, he realizes that, and it's gonna be difficult to adapt. That's such a simple but really powerful moment in a kid's film. Honestly, it feels more adult than some adult films. There really is a strength to perfecting an expression in animation that I think is underappreciated. With that said, we do get an overall happy ending as the wicked dragon's dead, and the rest of the flying reptiles live happily with the Vikings.
Well, other places have ponies or parrots. We have
Dragons!
Yeah, not sure what killing their leader did to their instinct. I mean, how do bees react if their queen is destroyed? And was that their queen? Did she lay eggs? Did she just threaten them? Was it even a she? Their psyche could have been damaged beyond repair and we wouldn't know it. Oh well, I look forward to not answering these questions in the sequel, but at least our storyboards can be reused in the near future.
And that was How to Train Your Dragon, and it's gonna be a little bit better from we're about to get tomorrow. And yeah, this was still a classic by DreamWorks, so now that DreamWorks are starting to produce live action versions just like Disney did, they're starting to get a good job for this. So if you guys want to see How to Train Your Dragon, you gotta go see tomorrow in theaters because it's gonna blow your mind. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this reaction with the nostalgia critic himself. Let me know what other movies with him you want me to react to next and I'll do it. Smash me some big likes for the next nostalgia critic reaction video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new future videos. Turn on your post notifications bell on and share this one with your buddies and girlfriends if you really haven't to. I will be in the next video. Bye to all of you boys and girls. Bros out. Feast out.